Putin News Now. Putin's offensive is losing steam as his troops struggle to advance, as the media puts it. The Institute for the Study of War has concluded that Russian military operations have slowed and that the Russian offensive in Ukraine is nearing its culmination. According to the analysis, which relies in part on information from the Ukrainian armed forces, Vladimir Putin's forces in the country are now primarily focused on distracting and dispersing the Ukrainian army. According to Ivan Timochko, head of the Council of Reservists of the Ukrainian Ground Forces, Russian forces are not making serious advances anywhere on the frontline, and attacks have ceased. Russian forces struck a residential building early on Sunday in the southeastern Ukrainian city of Zaporizhzhia, killing a 50-year-old man and his 11-year-old daughter, local authorities said. A 46-year-old woman, identified as the victim's wife and mother by Ukraine's State Emergency Service, was also rescued from the debris. According to Anatoly Kurtov, secretary of the city council, 2 missiles struck the city overnight, destroying 1 building and damaging dozens more. Putin's offensive has slowed as his forces are struggling to advance, according to the report. Ukrainian authorities report 2 deaths after a residential building in Zaporizhzhia was attacked by Russian forces. US and NATO war plans for Ukraine have been leaked, and the Pentagon is looking into the matter. More than 30 kids in Ukraine are back with their families. If you missed it, Russia is preparing for a counteroffensive by Ukraine by digging trenches and redeploying its armed forces in Crimea. In preparation for a Ukrainian counteroffensive in the spring, there are indications that Russia is redeploying key equipment from occupied Crimea to the southern sector of Ukraine. Ukraine has announced that if the planned counteroffensive is successful, talks with Russia will take place regarding Crimea. In preparation for a possible counteroffensive by the Ukrainian government, Russian forces may have withdrawn equipment from occupied Crimea and redeployed it elsewhere in southern Ukraine, according to the Institute for the Study of War in the United States. Coal is being mined around the clock in southeastern Ukraine to fuel the war effort and meet the energy needs of the local population. After Russia's military spent 6 months destroying power stations and other infrastructure in Ukraine, the chief engineer of a mining company in Dnipropetrovsk province said coal is crucial to meeting the country's energy needs. The company's employees use elevators to travel to the mine's lower levels. From this location, they control the massive machines that extract the coal and transport it to the surface for sale. The miners said it was a tough job, but necessary for the country's survival. In light of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, senior U.S. Treasury Department officials will be making special trips abroad this month to put pressure on companies and nations that are still doing business with Russia to sever ties. Ukrainians, willow branches in hand, celebrated Palm Sunday at the country's holiest Orthodox site, which is at the center of a religious dispute that has escalated in tandem with the war against Russia. The large refectory church of Anthony and Theodosius in Kiev-Pechersk-Lavra was bustling with worshippers. Others waited in the spacious courtyard outside to watch the ceremony. The Ukrainian government issued an eviction order against the Orthodox monks living in the monastery on March 29 due to their alleged ties with Russia, so this event is the first major religious service held in the complex since then. The monks had ignored the eviction notice and remained on the property after the deadline had passed. According to the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, Russian forces attacked various parts of Ukraine with 40 airstrikes, 4 missile strikes, and 58 attacks using multiple rocket launchers between Saturday and Sunday mornings. The General Staff claims that Russia targeted the cities of Lyman, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and Marinka in the province of Donetsk. In November, Ukrainian forces pushed the Russians back partially, and officials in the province of Kherson say the southern region has also been under constant attack. There were no reported deaths.